Self-harm is often a response to intense emotional pain, affecting many individuals, particularly adolescents. Studies show that approximately 16% of adolescents engage in self-harm, and 1 in 6 people has a history of it. For those who self-harm, it is typically a coping mechanism used to manage overwhelming emotions. Although self-harm may seem like an extreme or inexplicable behavior, it is often an attempt to manage deep emotional distress. Many individuals who self-harm also struggle with mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, or trauma, and use this behavior as a way to find temporary relief. Self-harm, also known as non-suicidal self-injury, NSSI, involves deliberately inflicting harm on oneself without the intention of suicide. It is generally a symptom of deeper emotional struggles and not considered a disorder on its own. Self-harm can manifest in various ways, such as cutting, burning, or hitting oneself. Though these actions may appear extreme, they are often a way for individuals to cope with emotional turmoil. It's important to understand that self-harm is not a sign that someone is beyond help, and with understanding and support, individuals can find healing. The psychological reasons behind self-harm are complex. For some, the emotional pain becomes so intense that they turn to physical pain as a distraction. The brain processes both physical and emotional pain in similar areas, which explains why physical pain can temporarily relieve emotional distress. Additionally, self-harm can release dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to pleasure, giving a false sense of relief and making the behavior addictive for some individuals. Despite the painful nature of self-harm, it is important to recognize that those who engage in this behavior are not seeking to end their lives. Instead, they may be trying to cope with emotional numbness, regain a sense of control, or affirm their existence. For many, self-harm offers a temporary release from emotional tension, which is why it can be difficult to stop, even though it causes harm. Low self-esteem and feelings of worthlessness are also common factors in self-harm. Many individuals believe they deserve the pain they inflict upon themselves, often stemming from deep feelings of shame and guilt. It is vital to approach those who self-harm with empathy rather than judgment. Showing empathy can help people feel understood and supported, which creates an environment conducive to healing. As Brené Brown suggests, shame does not lead to healing, but to more destructive behaviors, whereas empathy allows individuals to feel heard and valued. For some, self-harm may be a cry for help. When words fail to express their pain, individuals may resort to self-harm as a way to communicate their distress. Seeing visible evidence of pain may seem like a more tangible way to get others to notice and offer support. Recognizing the visual signs of self-harm and responding with compassion is essential in offering the help these individuals need. It is also important to note that people who self-harm do not necessarily want to die. The main difference between self-harm and suicide is intent. While self-harm is often a way to cope with emotional distress, suicide is an attempt to escape it. Individuals who self-harm typically do so to manage their emotions, not to end their lives. Many still hope for recovery, even if it feels unreachable in the midst of their pain. Healing from self-harm is possible, and there are healthier coping strategies to replace self-injury. One of the most effective ways to heal is by reaching out for help. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or mental health professional can provide a safe space to express emotions and receive support. Keeping a journal can also help individuals recognize patterns and triggers for self-harm, making it easier to address these triggers in healthier ways. When the urge to self-harm arises, engaging in alternative behaviors can help. Some people find that drawing with a red marker or holding an ice cube offers a similar sensation without causing harm. While these alternatives aren't perfect, they can play a role in managing urges in healthier ways. Creating a safe environment by removing potential tools for self-harm can also reduce temptation and offer comfort. Living with mental health challenges can feel isolating, but support is available. By fostering understanding and empathy, we can create a compassionate space where those who self-harm feel empowered to seek help. Together, we can help individuals heal and provide the support they need